Hey, Craftsman Crew and other viewers. This one's going to be a little different again today. It's the weekend. Thought I'd do some changing up. I'll get back to the yarns next week. But anyway, this story today is going to be about, well, it's probably going to be a couple of different stories, and the theme is friendship. Now, I know I've mentioned before my best friend's name is Ernie Morash. We've been best friends since we met. I think I was going on 12 years old. I was getting ready to go into grade 7. And, he was getting ready to go into grade 6. Now, we're both the same age, but he got held back in grade primary. The teacher said he wasn't ready to go, and then we graduated together because my first year of grade 7, I'd done absolutely nothing, just hung out with my friends and messed around and failed the year, so I got held back, and then he caught me up. So anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, so like I said, we met and hit it off, and we've been best friends ever since. But we've been through good times and bad. We both lost our parents. I lost my dad back in 2003, and I think he lost his mother within a couple of years after that, I think it was. But anyway, I'm gonna share a couple of stories of what true friendship is. And before anybody wants to chime in and say, like, well, your best friend should be your wife or significant other, I don't believe that. I think Ernie's my best friend, and I have shared a lot of my life with him, but your wife or significant other should be much more than a best friend. Like, if you just classify your wife or significant other as a best friend, then in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I mean, I'm not always right, and as a matter of fact, I know that I'm probably pretty much wrong most of the time, but anyway, but this is my opinion. And if you're only classifying your wife or significant other as your best friend, that's wrong, because it has to be much more than that. But anyway, to moving on, back when we were in high school together, there was a day where one of the teachers was teaching us how to play a game called Hearts, and as I told you guys in the Professor Plum incident, that I was quite competitive. So anyway, Ernie and I were both learning this game of Hearts from this teacher on a dinner break. So I was learning it pretty quickly, and I was winning and being a real dick about it. And so anyway, I was teasing Ernie and stopping saying about how much better I was than him, and being a real, lack of a better term, dick. So Ernie got tired of it, and he got up and he kind of jack slapped me across the forehead there, and took off. So anyway, which I totally deserved, by the way. And so I got mad and wouldn't even speak to him the rest of the day. And as the days went on, he kept calling the house there and asking to speak to me, and Mama had to tell him, well, he just doesn't want to talk to you, Ernie, and all that. And so, because it hurt my feelings, and if everybody knows, like, when you allow emotions and feelings to become involved, it ruins things. But anyway, so about a week of this had went by, and I was in school. I had went to a class, and for some reason I couldn't find a pen, or mine had died, or anyway, and I asked everybody in the class, everybody except for Ernie. I went around the whole classroom, and as I was getting down to the last person besides Ernie there, Ernie held up a pen like and said, I got one if you'll use it. So anyway, he was the only one that would give me a pen. So lesson number 1 on what it is to be a best friend. Even though your best friend is treating you bad and not even talking to you, like, he taught me that what it was to be a best friend that day. So that was lesson number one. It was to be a friend. And so anyway, lesson number two was years later. We were both living. I was with Annette, and he was living with a girl at the time that he had got was head over heels in love with, and that's totally fine. And I can understand he wanted to spend time with her, but in my opinion, he had devoted his whole life to her, and even stopped talking to anybody else but her. And so anyway, like I say, once again, the old feelings get in there and get hurt. And so I was doing all the initiating, like calling and going to his place and things. And like he would talk to me, and he would pay attention to me when I was there or whatever, and which is fine. And I should have let it be at that. But one day, like I say, my old feelings get hurt, and I said, well, I'm going to stop calling him and being the one to initiate the calls and see how long it is before he calls me. So anyway, I had got stubborn, yes. So almost a year had passed since we had talked to one another, and until one night, I had just went to bed, and Annette answered the phone, and I heard her. You can tell when something bad has happened the way someone talks on the phone. So anyway, I kind of come to attention, and she brought the phone down and said, it's for you. And on the other end of that phone was lesson number two, and the biggest lesson I ever learned about what it is to be a best friend. It was Ernie. He had called me to let him know his mother passed away. And even though it had been almost a year since we had talked to one another, he knew the first one he wanted to call about that was his best friend. And from that point forward, I never allowed my emotions to get involved with our friendship again in a way that would make it so I stopped wanting to contact him. And like, because for him to go almost a year without talking to me, and then when he needed me the most, for him to call me first, like, it meant a lot to me, and like really showed me what it was to be a best friend. And yeah, so anyway, that's a little bit about what some of the lessons that Ernie's taught me over the years about being a best friend. So yeah, I just wanted to share those heartfelt stories with you about friendship, and I hope all of you can say that you have someone like that in your life that is a true best friend. And like I say, I'm not saying Ernie's my only friend. I have a lot of people that I would classify as my friend, even people I haven't seen for years. And since I've been doing this, I've got in contact with a lot of people that I would classify my friend that I just hadn't seen in years. And that's something different. Like, in my mind, you can only really have one true best friend, because it's just that person that you've been through thick and thin with, has always been there, no matter if you needed them, if you didn't need them, they're just always there. And like me and Ernie goes times where we don't talk to one another sometimes for a long time, not because we're mad at one another, but just because our lives don't run on the same schedules, and sometimes we don't talk to each other for a couple of weeks or even a month sometimes. But it's just that right back, as soon as we do talk, it's like nothing's changed. Like it always goes right back to that friendship that's always there. And that's the way it should be between best friends. And And like I say, it's not that needy relationship where you need to talk to one another all the time. But I mean, there is times where we do talk to one another all the time. And my wife, she always says sometimes, like, you guys are like a couple of old women talking to one another on the phone for over an hour or whatever. But anyway, it is what it is. Like I say, we've just always been there for one another. But anyway, brother, this one goes out to you. Couldn't ask for a better best friend. I know you feel the same way about me. So this is Craftsman out. Have a nice day. Hey all, HH Craftsman here. If you like this video, please remember to like, share with all your friends, and even comment. It helps the channel a lot. And if you'd like to become a member of the Craftsman crew, it doesn't cost you a cent. Just hit that subscribe button. And remember, if you can't laugh with me, laugh at me. But keep laughing. Have a nice day.